Tonight's discussion of the week video was a super chat goal in one of the previous live monthly Q&As, and it was unlocked by you all, by your super chat contributions, donations. So I want to take this opportunity to thank everybody for their support. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you so much for continuing to support the channel and for unlocking this super chat goal. But if you have a request for a discussion of the week topic that you would like to see discussed right here on OAW Entertainment, become a patron at patreon.com/OAW and select the discussion of the week tier. For just $10, not only do you get your request for a discussion of the week video, you also get access to all Patreon exclusive content, you get access to the OAW Vault, and you get an invite to join in on the live monthly Q&A. So once again, that is patreon.com/OAW and select the discussion of the week tier. And with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, let's talk about martial arts.
Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained? Is this not why you are here?
Greetings to everyone watching live and everyone watching after the fact. Shout out to the faithful and salute to the patrons. This is Larry Williams, OAW Commander-in-Chief, here to bring you all a new discussion of the week. Discussion of the week is back. I know it's been a minute since I did one of these, but it's back. It's back. As I mentioned in the intro, this is actually one of the discussion of the week videos that was unlocked in one of the previous live monthly Q&As via Super Chat Gold. So, but I do want to give a quick shout out to my man, OAW Faithful and OAW Patron, Trent Schaefer, because this is actually a discussion of the week topic that he nominated for said Super Chat goal. Because you guys know how we do during the live monthly Q&As, during the Super Chat sweepstakes, for you guys offer up suggestions for me to add certain topics, whether it be discussion of the week topics, whether it be anime to review, movie to review, TV shows to review, and whatnot. And I take all your suggestions and I add it to the wheel. And if we hit that super chat goal, I spin that wheel, and whatever gets selected is what I do. So lo and behold, Trent, man, your topic got selected. So congrats, bro. So yeah, I went ahead, hit my man Trent up, and Trent sent me the feedback for this discussion of the week topic. He hit me up via Patreon, broke down all the questions that I got listed in the description box below. So feel free, ladies and gents, read along with me. I'm gonna break this down, let you guys know exactly what I'm gonna be discussing tonight. All right. So here we go. All right. In this discussion of the week video, I share my thoughts and opinions on martial arts and self-defense as it pertains to the following questions. Number one, what is your experience with martial arts and would you like to get back to them again? How many styles have you done? Number two, how much value do you see in the discipline that martial arts can provide for a practitioner? Number three, thoughts on the fake martial arts instructors out there, if any at all. Number four, do you think sports like the UFC are watering down or heavily commercializing an art that was once thought to be sacred or highly revered as such? And lastly, what discipline do you feel is the best for self-defense and why? So those are going to be the questions I'm going to be tackling in tonight's discussion of the week video. Just want to go ahead and let you guys know, if you guys have any questions or comments that you want to make sure I get to live right here on the air, you can always drop a super chat. If you want to support the channel via Cash App and PayPal, you can do that as well. Links are in the description box below. All right, so let me go ahead. I actually have Trent's in the building. What's happening, Trent? How's it going? I know Trent got to be in this. He's in the building. He's in the building. All right, guys. So I actually got the questions pulled up on my second monitor right here. So I am going to go ahead and start things off. All right. So number one, what is your experience with martial arts and would you like to get back to them again? How many styles have you done? Okay. So what is my experience with martial arts? So I used to be a Taekwondo practitioner. I attended 2 different Taekwondo schools during my study. I first started studying Taekwondo when I was 12. And that was at Red Dragon Martial Arts Academy in New Orleans East. And what was in so yeah, so that was like my formal introduction to learning martial arts. And while the school, if memory serves, while the school was predominantly taekwondo, because of the instructors that were there, they also incorporated kempo karate in some of the curriculum as well. So I mean, I didn't do enough kempo, but at one point in time, I was learning those two styles, right? And so like I said, that's when I was a kid. That's when I was like 12, and then I was taken out. And fast forward to college, my university had a taekwondo class, and so I enrolled in that, and I did that for about I did a year. I did a year in that because I got three belts in that time. So yeah, I did a year. Um, and that was more like traditional taekwondo, like hard traditional taekwondo, right? But also that class also incorporated not just the martial arts element, but we also learned Korean while we were in that class, and we learned some Korean history as well, because taekwondo by the literal translation of what it means. It is the Korean art of breaking with the foot and or hand. Taekwondo. Yeah. So yeah, let's see. So my experience with martial arts, how many styles, like I mentioned, that's about two styles. And would you like to get back to them again? So funny enough, the timing of this discussion of the week video is very funny. That's something I've actually been debating a lot recently, is getting back into martial arts or at least some type of combat sport. And I mean, there are various reasons for it, but to sum it up as concisely and succinctly as possible, I want to fight. Like it's been a long, what it's been? It's been 10 years since my last fight. Um, I'm itching for a fight. Simple and plain. Um, yeah, there's no other way. I mean, I can expound upon that a little bit more, but at the end of the day, like I am sort of at the point now where it's like I need to pound flesh. Like I need my fist to hit someone else's face. I need to break another human body. Like I just need a fight. Even if I don't win, I just need a fight. And there's no better way to get that than through combat sports, because one of the core elements of learning a martial arts, you have to spar. I mean, I don't think you can learn one without avoiding. I don't think you can learn one and avoid sparring. Like, I mean, even for belt tests, it's part of the examination. You have to spar. Now, yes, of course, when you're sparring, you're not actually fighting to hurt somebody, but just the act of sparring will exert that energy that will still satisfy you in the same way. So, for the record, anybody who's watching this who thinks, "Oh man, Larry's, is violent maniac and this is that and the other," no, dude, no, 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 no. That's not what it's about. And here's the other thing too, because like I said, it's about the exercise, right? Like, because I can work out all day, right? But the type of workout I get in the gym versus the type of workout I get in a dojon are two completely different things, right? The workout you get when you are sparring against another opponent, that's a totally different workout. I would even argue it even works different parts of the brain that you don't get when you're just doing regular exercises. So not the same thing. Not the same thing. And yes, I do believe that is Puffy Yami Yumi that just popped up on my Pandora in the background. So anyway, like I said, not the same thing. Um, but yeah, so that's why I've been thinking about it recently. I just feel like it's time for me to get back into a combat sport. Now, the funny thing is, or I was contemplating for the longest time doing boxing, like learning Western style boxing. But here's the thing about that. See, with martial arts, there's so much more. There's just so much more to learn that I think if I was to get into another martial art, I would just be um like my interest would hold longer because I would constantly be learning new stuff. Because here's the thing about like boxing, or so far as I understand the ins and outs of like Western boxing, there comes a point in boxing where once you learn all the fundamentals, it gets to the point where it's all about sharpening the skill, right? So it's like, okay, like, so you pretty much learn your fundamentals, right? And then you work on and you continue to work on those fundamentals, right? You sharpen up those skills. At the same time, you're doing like strength training and conditioning and things like that. And then you get into sparring. And then once you start sparring, that's when you start tailoring your workout to um, develop your own style, to maximize your strengths, to minimize your weaknesses. And then, of course, if you are fighting competitively in boxing, well, then that's when you develop your game plans for that specific opponent you might be facing. But like I said, with boxing, it appears to me like it's more about honing the skill and just getting better at that than it is um and what's the term I'm looking for? Than amassing information. You see what I mean? So like with martial arts, because you can practice martial arts and continue learning new things for years in any given discipline, right? Yeah, I just feel like it would hold my interest longer. Because that's the one thing I did notice whenever I was in taekwondo. I always My interest would always fade whenever the material got repetitive. When I wasn't constantly learning something new, that's when it was just it was almost like phoning it in. It's like, oh, we're practicing the same styles. Oh, we're going over the same. It's like, dude, like, I know how to do this. And here's the thing about that. Real quick, let me talk about that. So what's funny about that is, even in martial arts, there is that constant repetition, right? So the stuff you learn, like the fundamentals you learn in like your early belts, you still gonna be practicing things in your higher belts, especially if it gets to the point where you start working out other students, because then you have to reinforce their fundamentals. So your fundamentals got to be on point. So you're always going to be practicing that same thing. But like I say, it's I don't I it's that idea, like thinking about it in terms of like a curriculum and a hierarchy of um advancement. You know what I mean? Like working yourself up the belt, the belt rank. That I just think would keep me more motivated. You dig? So yeah, that's pretty much what my thoughts on that is. Okay. So, second question, how much value do you see in the discipline that martial arts can provide for a practitioner? Immense value. The discipline that you learn practicing a martial art is invaluable. It's there. I don't think you could put a value on it. That's how important it is. Because here's the thing about that discipline that you learn, that when you nurture that's going to benefit you in so many other areas of your life. You know what I mean? So because okay, so a couple examples, right? Like a couple of examples. So like when I was taking taekwondo as a kid, right? Like around that time was when I stopped getting in trouble at school, because that discipline was instilled in me, while I was at the academy. Because here's the thing about that, because I remember, especially at Red Dragon, I remember Master Lewis. I remember Master Lewis. Master Lewis had this thing. Like Master Lewis thing was um in terms of like when it came to authority, his was four prong, right? It was four prong. Number one was God. Number two was your parents. Number three was your school, and number four was the what was the dojon, right? Here's the thing, though. If Master Lewis ever found out that you messed up either at home or at school or like at church or something, you were gonna pay for it in the dojon, man. And God forbid if Master Lewis, I man, this what was this like? What was this like 19 years ago? I still remember this because I got PTSD, y'all. God forbid, let Master Lewis put you in a workout session with Sensei Obi. Sensei Obi wasn't a dude. Sensei Obi was the strictest teacher at my school. And Sensei Obi, he would put you if you got in trouble and they found out about it and you had to work out with Sensei Obi. This is what he would do. Sensei Obi would teach the class. Guess what? You're not gonna be a part of the class for that session. What he gonna do is he gonna put you on the far side of the dojon in the corner, and pretty much you got to do knuckle push-ups on hard wood until he tells you to stop. So what he would do is he would set you up and then he'd go walk away to the other side of the room and teach the rest of the class, and then he'd come back and check on you. But he was always listening. If you stopped, he'd be like, "I didn't tell you to stop." So yeah, dude. So the thing with that is, it's like, yeah, like that, because I knew the consequences that I would suffer in the dojo. I never wanted to get in trouble at home. I never wanted to get in trouble at school. Like I never wanted to do anything that would get back to the dojo and get me in trouble, right? So for like young practitioners, that like that discipline, that sort of thing is very important. Now, if you're an adult practitioner, discipline is something different, because for younger students, we think of discipline more in like that behavioral factor, right? Which is what I just with the anecdote I just provided, I sort of illustrated that point. Well, when you're an adult practitioner, discipline is different, because it's not about it's not about like being good or being bad or anything like that. What it is it's about developing good habits. It's about developing good habits. It's about getting rid of bad habits. It's about developing consistency, and it's about it's pretty much about putting yourself in the right train of mind and in the right condition to be able to do everything you needed to do. So let me give you an example of what I'm talking about. When I was taking Taekwondo in college, dude, like that was probably one of the last times I can like very much remember having a regiment, because that's sort of the thing with like with kids when they end up going to college. It's like when you're in grade school, your parents like you have a regiment, right? When you're in grade school, middle school, high school, like you have a regiment, and your parents pretty much keep you in that regiment because you're living with them, right? When you go off to college, you now are on your own. You're accountable for yourself, right? So time management is on you. Your what you doing, what you manage with, the way you manage school, the way you manage your social life, the way you manage your work life, all of it's on you, right? You're totally accountable for that. Well, if you're able to develop your own regiment, then you can handle all of those challenges much better. So that's where the discipline as an adult comes in. Because, like I said, it's discipline tooled in a different way. So, like when I was taking Taekwondo in college, dude, I had a regiment. I had a bedtime. I gave myself a bedtime, and I always got up at a certain time, right? And like I remember, because my TKD class was on Tuesdays and Thursdays. And I remember what my regiment was, because it was like, yeah, get up. I would, because yeah, Tuesday and Thursday. So I remember that year. Yeah, I would have to like get up early morning, go to art history. Then I had then I would go to breakfast, right? Then I had drawing 4 and was it humanity? No. It was sociology. I had sociology class, right? Okay, knock off, go have lunch. When I knock off from lunch, go to the gym. Go to the gym, and then right after my workout, go to taekwondo. And then so I would do an hour in the gym, then I would do an hour in TKD, head back to the crib, eat dinner, knock out my homework for the night, and then rest of the night I was probably either gaming or I was already asleep. But like I had a regiment. You see what I'm saying? And so pretty much if when you're practicing a martial arts as an adult, those sort of things become habitual. You know what I mean? And by necessity, you learn to develop good constructive habits. You start exercising more. You start eating better. You start getting more rest. Why? Because if you're going to practice a martial art, those are 3 necessities you have to do. You have to do. You can't go to Burger King the night before your class. No, bruh. No, you can't. You can't. You got to stay hydrated. You have to eat certain things that's going to provide you the energy and able to do that. So yeah, one more thing I'm gonna mention about discipline, and I'm gonna move on to the next question. The most important thing I think for a child or an adult practitioner of martial arts, the most important discipline you can learn is one of restraint. That's the most important one. And that's something you do learn in martial arts because by learning, like you find out how strong you really are. And you find out what you are capable of. And if you're a good student, and if you have a good teacher, like Mr. Miyagi says in Karate Kid 1. No, actually he said he's wait, is it in 1 or 2? Which one was I think it's in 2. It's at the beginning of Karate Kid 2 when Mr. Miyagi says no such thing as a bad karate student, only a bad karate teacher. But anywho, if you are a good student and you have a good teacher, through practicing, right, you will learn what you are capable of. And by virtue of that, you will learn how to restrain yourself. So you won't be picking fights with people because you know you can hurt those people. And when people try to pick fights with you, you will try to do the least amount of damage possible, if not just completely avoid the confrontation altogether, because you know you could hurt that person. My Sabo Nim in college, like I remember when we would do the self defense, right? Like the weapons training, when we would do the weapons training, because that's one thing I learned. Like I learned how to defend myself against someone who has a gun. I learned how to defend myself against someone who has a knife. Like I learned, weapons training. And every one of those pretty much forms that we would learn that would teach us how to do that, everyone ended with a final blow. And my Sambo Nim, I remember him specifically mentioning this. He says, there are some people who would argue that final blow isn't necessary, right? Because in every one of those forms, you have already unarmed the assailant, and you have if not immobilize them, you have them at a very you are always in an advantageous position, essentially, right? Like they are no longer a threat to you if you do that form to its conclusion, right? So why would you need the final blow, which in many respects is a kill shot? I mean, it's a kill blow, is what that is. And my Sabo Nim, I remember him saying this. Consider this: if you can avoid a confrontation, by all means, because the greatest defense you will ever learn is knowing where the exit is. That's the best defense you can ever learn. But he says, but if in the event that an exit is not an option, it is better to be judged by 12 than carried by 6. By learning martial arts, you know when to make that call, and that's the greatest discipline you can learn as a practitioner. All right, so I went on a little, I kind of went on a tangent there with that question. Sorry. But this next one will be really short. So, thoughts on the fake martial arts instructors out there, if any at all? Trent, I don't know what you're talking about. I'll be honest, I don't know much about this. If you're just talking about guys who are pretty much practicing a grift, I mean, dude, we live in a grift economy. There are many a life coach, a counselor, an advisor, whatever, and like the vast majority of these people aren't qualified for what they charge people hundreds, if not thousands of dollars for. It would not surprise me that there would be like fake martial art instructors out there in that same vein, because we've had them before, you know. Yeah, we've had imposter instructors for decades, for a very, very, very long time. So, I mean, the guys are asshats. And usually they don't get away with what they're doing, because eventually the jig is up. And usually those guys, if they don't get slapped with like lawsuits, and if they don't get sued into the Stone Age, they usually end up getting their comeuppance one way or another. Now, like I said, granted, I will say this real quick though. What I find interesting about that is I don't know how you can be a fake martial arts instructor in 2020, because anybody, like if this was the 80s, I could see you getting away with that. But now in 2020, when all a person has to do is Google what you just told them, dude, you would get found out like the second. I mean, instantly. All anyone would have to do is just fact check you, just Google it, and you would get found out instantly. Um, unless we're talking about something like identity theft, where you're pretending to be somebody else who has all the credentials and stuff. But that's just a con artist anyway. And same thing, right? Most of those guys don't get away with it. So, yeah, I mean, that's pretty much what my thoughts are on that. Okay, now this one I do want to talk about. Number 4, do you think sports like the UFC are watering down or heavily commercializing an art that was once thought to be sacred or highly revered as such? Trent, bruh, no, man. Trent, we were dude, we were commercializing the hell out of the martial arts by the time Bruce Lee got here. Okay? Like the whole martial arts, like the karate boom of the late 60s and into the 70s, dude, we were commercializing. Dude, the whole correct me if I'm wrong, the whole color belt system is an American invention. Most of the traditional martial arts don't use 9 different color belts. It's usually white belt, maybe a brown belt, maybe a red belt, and then black. Like they don't have like 9, 12 different ranks of belts. Like that's a new custom. Dude, we've been commercializing the shit out of martial arts, dude, for a very, very long time. A very, very, very long time. Now, and if you recall, for those of you all who might know, some martial arts history and whatnot, especially if you know your Bruce Lee history, right? Remember, when Bruce Lee came to the States and he started teaching stateside, that was an issue that he faced, because he was teaching Caucasian Americans, African Americans, Jewish people, Hispanic people, people of all race, creeds, religions, nationalities, everything. He had an open door policy. He said, I teach anyone who wants to learn. And dude, that was frowned upon in his community, man. The people in the martial arts community that Bruce, I guess, was affiliated with. I'm not going to say he necessarily belonged to them, but he was affiliated with them, right? They did not look they did not look well on that, and they took that serious. Now, of course, there's the whole urban myth, the rumor about, he had to fight to the death and da da da. Da. I'm not talking about all that. I'm not talking about all that. What I'm talking about is the disagreement that happened, and here's another thing that a lot of people don't mention about Bruce Lee so much. They don't talk enough about the ostracization that Bruce Lee experienced. The man was practically excommunicated from his community because of what he was doing. You know what I mean? It wasn't until he became like famous that all of a sudden people wanted to be associated with him in his school. Because, dude, for a very long time, it was just Bruce and his students, and that was it. Bruce and his students. Other instructors, other schools, other professional competitive martial artists, they didn't want nothing to do with Bruce. Bruce was ostracized for years over that very thing. So yeah, dude, but to answer your question, Trent, that's when that happened. That happened back then. Um I don't think that's I don't hear anyone talk about the martial arts in that esteem anymore. And that's just the because it's become so varied now. Like, dude, that's the thing I love about MMA. Once again, to quote Bruce Lee again, um, you know, when Bruce Lee developed Jeet Kune Do, the whole idea behind that art form was how did he put it? He said, because it's about the whole be water, right? Be formless, right? That was his whole thing, to be formless. You put water into a bottle, it becomes the bottle. That was his whole thing. Bruce had found the inefficiency of fixed forms, and so he wanted to develop a style that was more adaptable, that made it easier to be able to respond to your opponent, and and to put you in the best advantageous position, right? Well, dude, let's be real about this. That's what MMA is. MMA, right? If you mixed martial arts, what mixed martial arts is, it is a potluck of martial arts. And you're taking, you know what? This one's for all my people down. I'm gonna use an analogy that hits closer to home. It's a gumbo. That's what it is. It's a gumbo, right? Oh, so we have we have martial arts fundamentals, like across the board fundamentals. I'm talking about stuff like learning how to punch, how to kick, how to block, how to take a fall, how to recover, all that. Okay, so that's our roux. Okay, that's the roux. Okay, so we got that. We cooking it up. All right, we got the fundamentals. That's the roux. All right. Well, you know what? I really like the way Muay Thai incorporates elbows and knees. So guess what? Okay, so now we got some sausage. All right, dump that sausage in there. All right, cool, 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 cool. You know what? I really like my striking. So I want to incorporate some kickboxing too, because I like to strike, but I also like to use my feet too. So I want to be able to use knees and elbows when necessary, but I want to be able to throw them hands and throw them feet. All right, so that's our shrimp. Okay, so striking. All right, kickboxing. That's our shrimp. All right, now we got some shrimp. But look, man, if you're gonna be MMA, especially if you're being professional, you gotta have a ground game. You gotta have some type of ground game. You know what? BJJ, dude, BJJ is essentially the Jeet Kune Do of MMA, because BJJ is so encompassing in it of itself, right? So, um, so BJJ, that's the crab. All right, now we got our crab, right? So guess what, bro? You done got roux, you got sausage, you got shrimp, you got crab, boy. You pour that over some rice. Mm, good eating. And dude, and that's what I'm saying. That's how MMA became as popular as it was because it took. And how's about this? It's not one size fit all because of the way in which MMA was developed. It is it is a la carte. It is totally based upon each and every fighter, and it's catered to each and every fighter. You know what I mean? So, I mean, yeah. I mean, dude, that's how you get guys like, Rashad Evans versus like Lyoto Machida, two completely different type fighters, two completely different type of styles, or Chuck Liddell versus Rich Franklin, you know, um, Rampage versus Tito Ortiz, two completely different styles. That's how you get that. Hoist Gracie versus Ken Shamrock. That's how you got that. Yeah, it's about taking the best parts of traditional martial arts and putting them into a repertoire that can best serve you in combat. That's really what it is. I don't think MMA is disrespectful. I don't think the UFC is watering down or over commercializing anything because guess what? MMA is its own thing because we still have traditional martial arts competitions. They're in the Olympics every 4 years. Remember, Ronda was an Olympic martial artist before she was an MMA fighter. So we still, I mean, we still have the traditional martial arts. MMA is its own thing, man. It's its own thing. That's how I see it. It's its own thing. Okay, so and now let's see. My final question. Lastly, what discipline do you feel is the best for self-defense and why? Now, see, once again, this is going to be a tough one because I think it depends on the practitioner. So, okay, I'll give you an example of what I'm talking about. So, you remember how earlier in the video I mentioned that my first Taekwondo school incorporated Taekwondo and Kempo, right? Well, for a kid like me, I was tall and lanky even back then, right? Because at 12, I was already over 5 feet, right? So, I was a tall and lanky kid back then anyway, right? So for me, Taekwondo was ideal. Why? Because it incorporates kicks so much, and it's because it is such a it is a form of fighting that utilizes distance, and I have very long legs. I can cover distance very easily. Dude, my sidestep is a monster. Why? Because my sidekick. My sidekick is a monster. Why? Because when I'm getting ready to initiate a sidekick, I'm already in striking distance. When I do that, so I'm already in striking distance, right? But when I hit that step here and I bring this up, dude, you about to catch all this leg right into your chest. My sidekick is ridiculous, right? But but that's the thing about Taekwondo that benefited me because it's like, yeah, kicks, front kicks, roundhouses, like I can hit you from far away, you know. But for my cousin, for an example, who was in Taekwondo with me, right? Same school and all. Um, he was much shorter and more stocky. He was more heavy set, right? So Kempo really benefited him. Why? Because he's smaller, he has a lower center of gravity. So what that art, entails really worked for him. And he learned it really, really because my cousin ended up getting his black belt. He learned it very, very well. Very, very well. I still think he should have did judo though. But I'm pretty sure he could hold his own in judo because he played collegiate football as a D lineman. So he knows how to push people around. Shout out to Coach Carter if you watching this. I don't know if you're watching it, Coach. um, so yeah, honestly, I think it just depends on the person. I mean, it might sound like a cop out, but to me, honestly, the best discipline for self defense is the one that serves you best, the one that you can master the best is the one that serves you. So, like, if you're a You know, if you're a small, sort of stocky guy, I wouldn't recommend Taekwondo to you because that art style doesn't lend itself well to you. But like I said, Kempo I would. Judo I definitely would. Maybe even Shotokan. Maybe Shotokan I would. And then once again, dude, if you the beautiful thing about BJ, anybody can learn BJJ. Anyone can learn Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. So I would definitely recommend that. I see my man Dejan mention Krav Maga. Okay, now let me throw in my 2 cents about that one. I don't know much about it, but what I do know is it's been described to me as like the most accessible self-defense, right? Anyone can do that one is essentially the way it was described to me, which is why it's become so popular. And that is a martial art because I think that is that Israeli? Is that an Israeli martial art? Krav Maga? So somebody help me out here. I think that's the origin of that of yeah, it's an Israeli martial art. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah. But like I said, that's the thing about that one that I've heard people. That's why people like it so much because it is one of the most accessible martial arts to do. Anyone can do it. Um, like I said, for me, the best discipline is the one that serves you best. So if you're interested in getting into a martial art, um, dude, take a look in the mirror. I mean, and see. Here's the other thing too. See, this is the shit that martial arts can really like help you do. For anybody out there who might have like a negative self-image in terms of like your like physique, dude, martial arts guaranteed. It is guaranteed. Take my word for it. Unless you have like a severe sort of like physical ailment that keeps you from being able to get into shape, martial arts is one of the best way. It is bona fide to get you in shape. If you take it seriously and if you practice with the intent of competition, you know, practice as if you're going to compete, even if you do not compete. Because remember what I said about how sparring is part of your examinations. So you should always, when you're practicing a martial art, you should always practice it as if you intend to use it. Practice it as if you intend to fight to compete. If you do that, you're guaranteed to get into shape. You're guaranteed to get into shape. Guaranteed. And so here's the thing about that. With that in mind, take a self inventory. Take a self inventory of your physique. Take a self inventory of your strengths, of your weaknesses. Like, do you have a good left hand? Are you really good with kicks? Are you good at throwing people around? Are you fast on your feet? Are you quick? Do you have good cardio? Can you move around a lot? Right? Like does it take you a long time to get tired? Like if you're a runner, like if you do good cardio, dude, you see what I'm saying? Like all those types of things, make a list. Make a list. And then start asking around. Call up some schools, go in when they're having classes, find out when they're having classes. And because schools let people come in to like to view classes all the time, or at least they used to. I don't know. You know, it's 2020, dude. I remember dude, my my first okay, when I was in college, yeah, the Dojam was closed doors because it was just us and our teacher, right? But dude, like when I was a kid practicing Taekwondo, dude, when you would walk into the Dojam, the whole right side, so like Master Lewis' office was in the right corner, but between the front window that you just walked past and his office was a whole seating area. That was a seating area and people were always welcome to come in and check out the classes and the practices always. So yeah, dude, ask around. Of course you can do, of course you can do research, you know, online, you know, look up different martial arts, but I would recommend talk to people who are actual practitioners. So let's say you go online and let's say you look up Shotokan for an example, right? Let's say you look up Shotokan. Well, then if you're interested, if you're serious enough in taking it, you're going to look up a school in your area, right? So let's say you find a school, go visit the school first. Like go check out one of the classes so you can see what it's like, and so that you can talk to some of the students. Hell, talk to the instructor if you can. Of course, the instructor is going to try to sell you, because he wants you to join the class because he wants your money. But that does not distract from the benefit of going to meet with these practitioners in person. Trent, why did you? I'm doing your video. Why are you? Thank you, Trent. Thank you, Trent. Trent Schaefer, ladies and gentlemen, with the $20 super chat. Trent says, off topic, Larry, I want to ask you about Akamega Kill. Missed the live stream. Favorite Imperial arms. Also, what did you think about the Danger Beast? Lastly, F1, marry one, dump one. Trent, I answered that. Wait, okay. So that last question, I answered that. If you, I don't know if it appeared. Okay, I'll answer it live since you dropped the super chat. So okay, so it's F1, marry one, dump one. Because last time you said kill one, and I'm like, I'm not killing any of them. F them all and marry Leon. Wait, hold up. These options are different than the ones you had last time. Because you didn't mention an agenda last time. You didn't. So I'm going to change my answer. F them all, marry Leon and agenda. That's how I'm gonna feel about that. Oh, to answer your other questions, Trent, dude, I only read the first 3 chapters. So I didn't get to Imperial Arms. I didn't get to the Danger Beast. I didn't get that far yet. I've only read the first 3 chapters. Yeah, so, but thank you for the super chat, Trent. Very much appreciated. Okay. Well, guys, I mean, that's pretty much all my thoughts on this discussion of the week video. Yeah, man. Like I said, if you're interested in learning a martial art, like I said, man, look it up. Look it up, man. Go online, do some research, see which one suits your fancy. I'm not saying that you shouldn't practice one that you're not, like in the best shape for, or anything like that, because of course you can always change your body to suit your needs. Of course, always pursue what it is you want to do. But what I will say, and I'm gonna stick to this. If you're serious about it, one of the best things you can do, go find you someone who is practicing it, and go meet that person. Go meet that person. Talk. Hell, man, who knows, man? That might end up being one of your classmates. Shit, might end up being one of your teachers. Might end up being one of could man, the guy you meet in the dojo or the dojo or whatever might end up being one of your best friends for the next 20 years. You don't never know. You don't never know. But those places are always really cool places to meet people, and to make friends. Hell, how many friends do I have from Taekwondo that weren't my friends before Taekwondo? Because that's the other thing too. In both my schools, I ended up taking Taekwondo with some of my friends that I already had as friends. But it's like, in terms of friends that I met through Taekwondo, what, like one? Let me see. Oh yeah, both the Jeffs, actually, both the Jeffs. Yup. Technically, I knew him before. Yeah, I knew them before Taekwondo too. Yeah, I actually have more friends. Like, I'm talking about, like, in college. I actually have more friends that I knew. Like, they were my Taekwondo classmates, but I knew them before. So yeah, I got like 4 or 5 that I still keep up with on Facebook and whatnot. So, but anyway, yeah, that's pretty much my thoughts on that. And Trent, stop sending me super chats. Thank you, man. Trent again with the $5. He says, also, I'm not a metal fan, but look up the openings on YouTube. They bang hard, LOL. Lastly, thoughts on different martial arts sparring each other. I mean, well, people do that all the time. Like in martial arts competitions, people of different styles fight I mean, they compete against each other all the time. Dude, actually, in most of those instances, I think it's just who's the better fighter. Usually, I mean, dude, like I said, it it was not until I saw like the first UFC event, like the first UFC event, the one that put Hoist Gracie on the map, right, and put the Gracie family school of BJJ on the map. That was the last time I saw someone dominate other competitors, mostly because of their style. That's not to say that Royce Gracie isn't a great martial artist. He is, but he was such a master of his style, and his style was so revolutionary at that time. Like, like I mean, dude, he just wiped the floor with everyone. But that's the last time I saw that happen. Any other time I've seen a martial arts competition where it's different art styles against each other, it usually always comes down to the better fighter wins, not necessarily the better style. So, yeah. All right. Okay, guys, I am coming up on an hour, man. I tell you what, I'm gonna do some quick lightning round. We're going lightning round these questions. So unless y'all guys are drop, unless you got another super, not you, Trent, not you. I'm cutting you off. I'm cutting you off. But this is last call for super chat. So unless you guys want to throw something in real quick, I'm going lightning fast. We're gonna do lightning fast. Y'all ready for this? All right, let's go. Dijon says one question I got is MMA fighters disrespecting most traditional martial art styles. Well, those MMA fighters are fools then. Um, As they say, you can't use most traditional martial arts in real combat situations. It actually depends on how you use it. That's true. That's true in a textbook sense. That's true in theory, not necessarily not always in practice. Because remember, Bruce Lee fought real fights, traditional styles, most of his life, because he didn't develop Jeet Kune Do until he was what, in his 20s. So, I mean, it can be done. It's just, is it the most practical? Is it the most pragmatic? Probably not. Um, Larry wants to be trying to be a stone cold killer. I'm not trying to kill anybody. I just want to fight somebody. Make you want to hurt somebody. Make you want to fight somebody. For all my Hurricane fans in the building, who I love that movie. Great movie. How did okay? So Jessica, I answered that question. How did I figure out which martial arts style was right for me? I know this was earlier in the stream. Hopefully, you stuck around for my explanation about why I chose Taekwondo. Um, or did I do that at the beginning of the stream? Okay, Jessica. It's because of my limbs. I'm tall. I'm lanky. Taekwondo benefits me. That's why. Um. Ooh. Favorite. Oh wait. Oh, this is for Dreezy. What? Can I answer this too? My favorite MMA fighter was always Chuck Liddell. I love Chuck Liddell. Chuck Liddell was my man. Chuck Liddell. So like I said, okay. So for the longest time, my top five, right? My top five MMA fighters, right? Chuck Liddell, Rashad Evans, Forrest Griffin, George St. Pierre, and ooh, you know what? My fifth would be. No, it's not gonna be. I like Michael Bisping. It's not. No, it's no. It's gonna be Matt Hamill. Matt Hamill's my number five. I love Michael Bisping, but Matt Hamill's my number five. Yeah. He's my number 5. All right. Man. Okay. Let's see. Do, 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 do. Okay, looking for some more questions. Ba, 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 ba. Dijon, well, this is another one for the chat, but I guess I can answer this too. Best martial arts film actor or movie? Best martial arts film act Bruce Lee. What you talking about? What you mean? Best martial arts movie? I don't know if I can say which one I think is the best. That one is hard. How do you determine which one is the best? I guess just all encompassing, right? Best story, best acting, best fighting, choreography, music, the whole shebang, right? Like, man, that would be hard. Which one is the best martial arts film? I don't know. I don't know, man. I've always made a strong case for Hero because that movie is so like on all those levels that I just mentioned, right? Writing, acting, cinematography, choreography, music, all that jazz. Like Hero is one of the greatest martial arts films I've ever seen. Is it the best though? I don't know. 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 Uh, okay, so Jessica asks, which is the best martial arts for someone who focuses on punches? Karate. Look into your different forms of karate. You don't have to do like traditional karate, but look into the different forms of it. And you'll probably find a style you really like. That's the first go to karate. Start with karate first, and then like narrow down your search from there. Because karate is all about the hand. Well, karate, the translation of karate means empty hand or open hand is yeah. So look into karate. Um. Okay, let's see. Okay, I am pretty much caught up. I do believe. Let's see. Um. Okay, yeah. I answered both of Trent. Thank you, Eric, for that one. Okay, Lucifer Pitch Black. He says, Larry, do you like metal or hard rock? Which one you like better? Rock. I'll start a Discord in the comments. Wait, Trent, are you actually starting a Discord, like a real Discord, or are you just saying like you'll keep the comments going? If you're actually starting a Discord, shoot me the invite. Because that's something I've been meaning to do forever. Um, this is another one from Eric. He says, Larry, please check out Kingdom on Netflix. MMA drama done very well. I think that's on my list. I think that's on my list to check out. I think that's on my list. Um, Eric also actually said, "Did Snipes inspire you at all as a young kid?" He did for me, no doubt. Yeah, dude. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Because I was in Taekwondo um, when when he was filming Blade 2, because I used to watch like all the behind the scenes stuff of Blade 2. Eric, if you get a chance, check out my Blade 2 commentary I did a couple of months ago. I talked about that in Blade 2. In that commentary, I'm like, yeah, dude, like when I was practicing Taekwondo as a kid, like I was always trying to imitate Wesley, man. I was always trying to imitate Wesley. So yeah. All right, guys. All right, so that's the end of the comments. All right, I want to take this opportunity. Oh, I got one more. keep the comments going. I mean, okay. All right, guys. Well, I got to get out of here. I want to take this opportunity to thank everybody for watching live. Thanks everyone for watching after the fact. As always, like, comment, share, and subscribe. That helps these videos and it helps the channel out immensely. You guys don't know. Sharing this stuff on social media, liking it, thumbing it up on social media helps a ton. So please, guys, like, comment, share, and subscribe. If you dig this video, if you know anybody you think will dig this video, share it with them. Follow me on social media, facebook.com/OAW Entertainment, twitter.com/OAW ENTMT, twitch.tv/OAW_entertainment. And of course, right here, youtube.com/OAW Entertainment. And last but certainly not least, if you guys have any topics that you all want, whoops, wrong banner. If you guys have any topics that you all want to see discussed right here on a discussion of the week video, become a patron at patreon.com/OAW. Select the discussion of the week tier. It's just $10. And for $10, not only do you get to request a topic for discussion of the week, you also get access to all of the Patreon exclusive content. You get access to the OAW Vault, which is the original collection of my anime and manga reviews, as well as some movie reviews and some old rant segments. And you also get an invite to join on the live monthly Q&A right here on camera, right here on the OAW YouTube channel, as well as the OAW Facebook page. And this month, at the end of this month, I will also be broadcasting it on Twitch. So you'll get to join in on the fun. So once again, that is patreon.com/OAW. Select that discussion of the week. It's called the DOTW discussion of the week tier. Last but certainly not least, I want to give another huge shout out to my man Trent for requesting this discussion of the week topic. And I want to thank everybody who tuned in and participated in the Super Chat sweepstakes that unlocked this topic as a Super Chat goal. So once again, thank you all for that. All right, guys, keep an eye out. I know I was late on this video. I know I was late on this one. Apologies for that. Like I said, I just started up a new gig and I'm working out my new schedule right now. But keep an eye out because I got some more videos coming for you guys later this week. I have I won't keep an eye out. I'm not going to announce what my next movie review is and whatnot. I am going to try to do an extra video this week to make up for the one I missed last week. So either tomorrow. So I'm going to be back on Wednesday and on Friday, but I'm thinking either tomorrow or Thursday I will be doing another one. I'm thinking of doing the movie review tomorrow because I just got one. I just got done watching the movie for this week. Right before this video, I finished it. So I'm thinking about doing the movie review tomorrow. But if I don't do the movie review tomorrow, then that one will probably if it's not up tomorrow, it's going to be on Wednesday. All right. Okay, guys, got to get out of here. Thanks so much for joining me. Once again, this has been Larry Williams, OAW Commander-in-Chief. I am signing off. And until next time, peace.
Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained? Is this not why you are here?